Welcome back, everyone, of the Westlake Hornets Teambuilder Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. As today, the Hornets head out to take on the Texas Christian University TCU Horned Frogs of the Big 12 in a top 25 matchup. Horned Frogs ranked at number 25, while Westlake is at number 2 in the country. Last week, the Hornets took on the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Westlake was number 5 at the time, while the Crimson Tide were number 2. And the Hornets were only winning for 7 seconds, but it was the final 7 seconds, and they ended up winning the game 31-28 in dramatic fashion. But unfortunately, on the last play of the game, Jeremy Harrington caught an interception, but he tore his abdominal, and he's going to be out 7 weeks. He was probably Westlake's best defender last week, and luckily the Hornets are deep at corner, as senior Emmanuel Charles will bump up to the number 2 spot. Redshirt freshman Adam Alexander, the former number 1 recruit in the country, will move to the slot. Welcome, everyone, to Amon G. Carter Stadium. Number 2 Westlake taking on number 25 TCU. This should be a much easier defense for freshman quarterback Peyton Curtis, as he made his debut last week against Alabama. Shaky early on, but he was overall solid, but definitely not going to be as much of a challenge for him and the Hornets today. But TCU is still a very good team, and definitely not a game that Westlake should take lightly. Here's the Westlake offense led by redshirt freshman Peyton Curtis, who had a very solid debut last week. Another player I was impressed with was redshirt freshman receiver Nigel Wiggins. 9 catches for a $119, as it'll be Everett Lemieux Jr. starting this game off with a gain of 28. Lemieux was also good last week, but we already know he's a beast. 3rd down and 10 from the 45. Let's see if the Hornets will convert. As Curtis, he will find Michael Wilson pushed out of bounds for a loss of 3. Questionable decision by Curtis, and Mr. Reliable loses some yards, and that'll force a Westlake punt. Last week, Westlake's punter Alberto Brompel struggled, but a very good start to this week as it went out of bounds at the 3. 2nd down, handoff for Hurd, he's going to get hit by Emmanuel Charles, loses 2. That's Owen Jackson with the tackle, and that'll be 3rd and 12, as TCU is very close to the end zone, and they just can't go backwards pretty much. I expected this game to be all about offense, as TCU plays in the Big 12, enough said, and the Hornets practically play like they're in the Big 12, as Curtis, he's going to look to throw. He is a wide open man. That's for redshirt freshman Nigel Wiggins, his first career touchdown reception. He was great last week against Alabama, and he makes a nice play there, and the Westlake Hornets are the first ones to score. That's Peyton Curtis's 3rd passing touchdown on the young season. We got ourselves a studio update presented by our good friends over at EA Sports, as the Auburn Tigers get the win over number 9 Florida in an upset 36-33 in the Swamp, despite 5 touchdown passes from Maynard and, I guess, 2 missed extra points, or missed 2-point conversions. I don't know. As number 13 California upset by Florida State 40-35. Nebraska Colorado, big rivalry. That one goes to the Buffaloes. And then Arizona State with 5 touchdown passes from Jack Jackson. My goodness. They beat Tulsa 38-35. TCU's last drive was not great, and it's not really their fault because they had really bad field position. Now let's take a look and see what this offense can do. It's on 2nd and 6. Evan Spicer over to his receiver, Cook. Cook breaks the tackle from Sean Briggs and is eventually wrapped up by one of the defensive linemen, but not before gaining 21. 3rd down and 1. Let's see if Westlake can get the stop or if TCU can convert. Leon Moore and Sean Briggs looks like blitzing as Spicer, he's almost intercepted by Kyle Utley, but Leo McCollum picks it up, and McCollum will take it to the house for a 40-yard touchdown, as Kyle Utley had that basically in his hands, and it looked like he wanted to, rather than be conservative, try to take a risk and try to get a pick 6, but instead it goes right by him, and Leo McCollum will get a TCU touchdown. I'm sure Kyle Utley is going to hear it from his coaches on the bench. Westlake was able to score a touchdown on their last drive, as Peyton Curtis is getting off to a very good start, as Peyton will hand it off for Alex Zellis, who is wrapped up like a Christmas present. I forgot the catchphrase. As there's Jeff Cameron, the one making the tackle, setting up a 3rd down and 5. It has been a very efficient start for Curtis, as he's 6 for 8 with 79 yards. Sandu fishing in motion as Peyton Curtis looking to throw it. He's going to find an open man. That's his tight end, Sandu Fishing, who will gain 26 yards, bringing it to around what looks like the 23 or 24 or so. Peyton Curtis looks like a senior on that play, the way he was so calm and composed, as it's 3rd down and goal from the 1. Curtis looking to throw it. Curtis looking for Everett Lemieux, who will get the 2-yard touchdown, and the Hornets will regain the lead. Nice catch from the junior. TCU was lucky to score on their last drive as Kyle Utley almost had a pick 6. As they're down by 7 on 3rd down, Evan Spicer looking to throw it. Spicer has time, taking a shot deep, and Wesley McNamara had it in his hands. These Hornets keep dropping interceptions, as on the first 2 downs, I'm not showing it, but there were a pair of dropped picks. These defenders cannot catch the ball. These Hornets defenders keep messing up on interceptions. Remember last week, Owen Jackson almost had a pick, but he dropped it. Of course, Jeremy Harrington caught a pick, but he's hurt. As Westlake's offense has it back, Curtis taking a shot deep for Michael Wilson. The senior will haul it in for a gain of 33 yards. Excellent pass by Curtis, and an even better catch by the redshirt senior wideout Michael Wilson. TCU just has 1 first down all day, 2nd and 5. Ellis and Curtis in the backfield. Alex Ellis actually looked a little bit shaken up on 1st down. I'm surprised to see him back in the game as Curtis finds Michael Wilson, and Wilson is almost in the end zone, tackled just a yard short. 1st and goal at the 1 for the Hornets. Peyton Curtis and Alex Ellis in the backfield, 4 receivers set as Curtis delayed handoff for Ellis, who will get the touchdown, and Westlake will double their lead, assuming they make the PAT. Even though this Westlake defense has been dropping interceptions left and right, they've still done a very good job today, as it's now 3rd and 9 for the Horned Frogs. Evan Spicer looking to throw it. Spicer taking a shot deep. I don't know where that was aimed, as Leon Moore is the only player near that football, and he will catch it for an INT. Just an awful pass by Evan Spicer, as maybe the receiver was a little bit slow to the ball, but Spicer clearly overthrew him, and Moore was able to capitalize. This Westlake team has been very good on both sides of the football today, trying to get back to their national championship form from last year, or should I say their almost national championship form, as they would have won the big game last year if it weren't for some late choking, as Curtis has to run backwards, and he is sacked for a loss of 13 yards by Drew Perkins. 3rd down and 8 for Westlake. Can they convert after the sack? 2.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Hornets are 3 for 4 on 3rd down today, as Curtis has a wide open man deep. That's Nigel Wiggins, who will gain 30 yards and a Westlake first down, as Wiggins 2 catches for 55 yards so far on the day. He's having another really good week so far. It is now 1st down from the 26, as Peyton Curtis landed off for the true freshman, Jason Gibbs. I believe that's the first handoff of his career, and he is lit up like a Christmas tree by John Burley for a loss of 14 for 17, 228 yards and 2 touchdowns. Peyton Curtis has been incredible today, as Curtis trying to get his 3rd touchdown of the half, and he will do it, finding Everett Lemieux, who caught his last touchdown pass, and he gets that one, and the Hornets' lead will get even bigger. We got ourselves another studio update from ESPN, as South Carolina taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, and currently South Carolina, coming off a loss last week, has the lead 29-23 over UGA, but still 11:47 left to go in that one. TCU trying to now be down by 2 possessions if they score on this drive. Last week, the Hornets were down by 14 heading into the half, and they didn't even start the second half off with the ball and still won. TCU does start the second half off with the football, as Leo McCollum with his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. He's had 2 very long, very nice scores. Excellent pass right on the dot from Evan Spicer, and TCU is only down by 2 touchdowns, just like the Hornets were a week ago. Peyton Curtis has truly been incredible here in the first half. Westlake has all 3 timeouts, as Curtis, he's going to take a shot deep from a true freshman, Malik Brown, and it's going to be intercepted by Williams. Curtis was very confident, and I don't know if he'll be less confident, but still a nice play by Chad Williams. Not a great decision by Curtis, but he's just a freshman. He's learning. TCU's offense didn't bother to do anything before the end of the first half, as we are now in the second half. Horned Frogs down by 14. As on 2nd and 8, Evan Spicer under pressure. He will be sacked by the senior Ernest McCoy. Owen Jackson with the initial pressure. Westlake's first sack of the day, setting up a 3rd down and 12. 3rd down and 12 for Texas Christian University. 4 receivers set for the Horned Frogs. As Evan Spicer looking to throw it. Spicer taking his time, dancing in the pocket, finds a wide open man. That's Terrence Thomas for a gain of 37, bringing it to about the 10-yard line, as there were no Hornet defenders miles from him. And they were in zone coverage, too, so that's a little bit surprising. It is 2nd and goal at the 2 for TCU. Evan Spicer got banged up on 1st down, and I think that is him still in quarterback, yeah, as he hands it off for a running back, Hurd, and Kevin Hurd will get the touchdown. And it's just a one-possession game all of a sudden, as it looked like a blowout at one point, but TCU is really hanging in there. Right now, TCU is in the same position that these Westlake Hornets were in just a week ago. Hornets were down by 2 possessions at halftime, starting to make a little bit of a comeback, so the Hornets know what not to do in the position of a winning team, and they've certainly learned from their experiences as Everett Lemieux gains 23, bringing Westlake into the red zone. Pretty much all of Westlake's receivers have been good today. Lemieux, Michael Wilson, Nigel Wiggins, Malik Brown has had a solid day. Everyone is contributing on this Hornets offense. They're down and goal at the 1. Can the Horned Frogs get a stop, or will the Hornets convert? As Peyton Curtis will hand it off for Alex Ellis. Untouched like weekend homework for a Westlake touchdown, as Ellis now has back-to-back touchdown games to start off this season and potentially start off his Heisman campaign, as he's the current favorite. Won it 2 years ago as a sophomore and is hoping to do it again this year as a senior. Back to square one for TCU as they're down by 14 after a pair of touchdowns for TCU and Westlake respectively. Ford in motion. He's had a very quiet day as Spicer, he will be stuffed up like Thanksgiving turkey by the junior Isaac Solomon, setting up a 3rd down and 10. 3rd down and 10 for the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs, trying to convert. 1:33 left in the 3rd as Evan Spicer looking to throw it. Spicer dancing in the pocket, has an open man deep, that's Cook, as Wesley McNamara got burnt, and Will Cook will take that 75 yards for a TCU touchdown. Credit to TCU. They were putting up quite a fight against one of, if not the best teams in the country in Westlake, depending on who you talk to, of course, as Alex Ellis on 1st down loses 2. The play is read like a book by John Burley, as Ellis had no time to do anything. Alex Ellis lost another 2 yards on 2nd down, and it once again wasn't really his fault, just bad run blocking. And now it's 3rd down and 14. 5 receivers set. Curtis under pressure, incomplete. That'll be a TCU 3 and out, and they'll get the ball back. 3rd quarter in the books, and TCU is really chipping away at this Westlake lead. Only down by 7. Their offense has had 3 straight touchdown scoring drives as Evan Spicer, first play of the 4th quarter. Spicer down the sidelines, pushed out by the speedy Adam Alexander at around the 16 or 15, as TCU is very close to tying this game up. 3rd down and inches. Can TCU convert, or will Westlake get a stop, likely forcing a field goal? As it's going to be handoff for Kevin Hurd. Hurd is a 1st down, runs by Isaac Solomon, and we are tied up with 5:53 to go, as TCU is on a 28-7 run, assuming they make the extra point. What has happened to Westlake? Even though this Westlake defense is really struggling right now, their offense is still playing well, and their offense still holds the keys to this game. Is on 1st down, handoff for Jason Gibbs, and Gibbs loses a yard. Rough start for him. 2 carries, -3 yards. This George Roth is the one with the play. 3:24 left to go. It's 2nd and goal from the 2. Slow and steady wins the race, and that's what this drive has been about. As Alex Ellis gets the handoff, and Westlake will regain the lead. Alex Ellis' 3rd touchdown of the day with 3:21 left to go in the 4th. TCU has had 4 straight touchdown drives, not including the end of the first half. And even if you do include that, they've still had 3 straight. It's on 2nd down and 5. Spicer has a wide open man. That's Ford. He breaks Leon Moore's tackle and is wrapped up by Charles and another defender, I think Adam Alexander. They're down in 6 from the 30. If TCU does not convert, what do? I think it's an easy decision. I think you go for it if they don't convert. As Spicer up the middle, he finds Cook. So it doesn't look like the Horned Frogs will have to worry about that decision. as Will Cook gains 23. First and goal for TCU. Can they tie this game up with 2 minutes left to go? Handoff for Hurd. He's wrapped up. No, he breaks multiple tackles. Kevin Hurd somehow finds the end zone, and we are tied up with 1:58 left to go. Last week, Peyton Curtis led Westlake down the field for a game-winning drive. Can he do it again? Peyton Curtis had ice in his veins last week against Alabama. Can he do it again this week against TCU? Now, last week, remember, Alabama was winning. This time it's tied, so the Hornets are under a little bit less pressure. As Curtis on first down scrambling, he finds Everett Lemieux. And Lemieux, very solid start to the drive for Westlake as he gains 23. It's been a very good day for the junior Everett Lemieux. Westlake has plenty of time. They just need to be smart with the football. And there's no reason why they won't win this game in regulation. Just over a minute to go. Curtis on first down under pressure. He is sacked for a loss of 9. Big play for TCU. It's Drew Perkins with the sack. Westlake just called their first timeout. They have 2 remaining. Mike Hadley is in the game. I guess Peyton Curtis got injured on the sack. Hopefully it's not serious. As Hadley on third down. Okay, he has bruised ribs and he's fine. As Hadley will run for the first down. Westlake is in field goal range and they call a timeout. Peyton Curtis is back in the game, which is very good news for Westlake. 23 seconds left. They still have a timeout. As Curtis on his back foot will be intercepted by Matthews. The Hornets could have just ran the ball and kicked a field goal, but instead, Peyton Curtis throws an interception. Brian Matthews with the play. Curtis's second straight week with 2 interceptions, and we are likely headed to OT. I can't fully blame Peyton Curtis for making that throw, as it did look like Nigel Wiggins was about to break open, but Curtis definitely could have made a better decision. 3rd and 4 for TCU. They're going to lob up not a Hail Mary, but a short pass nonetheless. Still 1 second left. I don't think they're quite in field goal range, but they're awfully close. They are not going to go for the field goal. They don't bother to call a timeout. And that's how the fourth quarter ends. And we are headed to OT, everybody. Westlake got to choose tails, and obviously tails never fails. They won the coin toss and decided to send their defense out on the field first. First and goal, tight end in motion for the Horned Frogs, as Evan Spicer looking to throw it. Spicer scrambling. He is sacked by Isaac Solomon. Big play for Westlake. TCU ended up kicking a field goal, which is definitely a win for Westlake, as a touchdown will end this game and a field goal will still tie it, which would mean we would need another overtime. Curtis scrambling like a madman. Curtis will run it in himself, and the Hornets win the ball game. Peyton Curtis, 11-yard run, and we are headed home, folks. And the Hornets avenge the comeback as TCU came back from 28-7, but it won't matter as Peyton Curtis scores the game-winning touchdown and Westlake will win. Curtis was very good in the first half. Had some shaky moments like last week, but all in all, a very solid game from him. Great performance from the offense. The defense was great the first half of the game. And shout out to TCU for putting up a nice fight, but the Hornets will win. Next week for Westlake is a bye week, and then after that will be a rematch versus Penn State.